Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, beautiful people left, right, and center, welcome to a day of Hearthstone laddering. My voice is a little deep. The coughs and the weeps will occur every now and again because I'm oh so marginally sick. I don't know. There's a weird kind of sickness that I think needs a new definition other than sick. Right? There's like you have the flu, or you have a disease, you have strep throat. You're sick, and there's like you're a well person. Okay, that's fine. But there's like the in between where you're like not really sick, but you like are barely a little like right in there, like the pseudo sick. Basically, I was traveling back from Europe and did a whole lot of staying awake to try to reset my sleep schedule. Instead, I just wound up sleeping very little overall, and now I'm sick. Right, so it's pretty normal, pretty standard by the book stuff. So I'm just kind of chilling right in there. I got my sweater on so I can be nice and warm. I got the heater on so I can be nice and warm. I got the cats, they're happy, they're nice and warm. Got water and coffee. And because I'm awake, just figured, fuck it, may as well just go live. This is my deck. This is the deck that I think is going to be the new success. Look at this. Look at me going. We're already succeeding. You may have seen me run this one, and it really struggled against priests, and it's actually pretty good against what I think the meta is, but I have not played Hearthstone in the last 2 weeks. This is the first day I've actually gotten to sit down and play. This is a tough matchup for sure. I might try to figure out a way to get a healing rain in here, but the gist of this deck, for all y'all who don't know, I really have no idea what to keep against a mage. Basically, the gist of this deck is that we have a lot of ways to sweep and clear with Devolve, Maelstrom Portal, Lightning Storm, and Volcano. We use this to slowly buff up the lesser Sapphire Spellstones and to reduce the cost of the Snow Fury Giants, where we have a whole lot of overloady guys. So we're delaying and we're powering up, and then we can do enormous plays, like play a 0-mana Snow Fury Giant, cast Ancestral Spirit on it, and then summon 3 copies of it. All the minions in this deck are basically value minions. There is, oh my gosh, I don't even have this up. I'm so dumb. I literally, the box isn't even checked. So we turn on this, and then we hit this thing. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm like... Literally, I turned... I had my mostly walking set up yesterday, and I just didn't turn on anything. Excuse me. But anyway, so the purpose of this deck is we have Volcanoes, Lightning Storms, Maelstrom Portals, Devolves. These are sort of like the sweepy board cleary type things.
I hope you like my invention.
And we are trying to power up the lesser Sapphire Spellstones by overloading crystals. We're trying to reduce the cost of the Snow Fury Giants by overloading crystals. And then we can do some big combos, such as playing a Snow Fury Giant for 0, then Ancestral Spirit and lesser Sapphire Spellstone to boom, summon a whole bunch of copies of that. You can also just play an Earth Elemental, and if you can't kill it, you can Ancestral Spirit it and clone it. A lot of things like this. So we have a couple of the high-value overloads, like Flame Wreathed Faceless and Earth Elementals. I don't know what this is. If you're sure. Because, for instance, I can actually Ancestral Spirit this right away. And that's very obnoxious to deal with. It's really nice. You can't actually shoot that. I don't know what's happening. I ordered some. Little.
out on me.
Bell runs. It's Dear Day 9. Sorry to ask twice. Oh, I didn't even see you ask the first time, so it's not even an issue, man. No big deal. There's something I've always wanted to ask you, and now you brought it up yourself recently with the story of your friend who was living off his life savings. Is there an end goal to the streaming? Well, let me go ahead and just power up this nerd. Streaming is interesting because it does not scale in the way of like other businesses. For instance, if I were a drink company and I made, Shondar cans. God, I love this ability so much. It's just such a cool ability. So I'll do this. Alright, because then this will be upgraded, and then I'll do this, which should then upgrade it even more. And then we'll just put the pressure on them. Actually, I probably should have traded like that. Yeah, I mean, if I were a drink company, if we were making $1 million a year, we could look for more distributors, and then we could hit... That was close. We could hit $5 million a year, and then we could get more distributors and hit $20 million a year. You can sort of go up. I did indeed screw that up. That's alright. So we're getting really close to this combo. This is going to be nice. But with streaming, you sort of have like this arc. It kind of goes up, and then it stops. Okay, so this is going to look weird, but it's going to make sense in a moment. I'm going to do this. I could have just cast that. I'm such an idiot, dude. I'm like totally fancy play syndroming myself to death here. You know what? You know what? Screw it. You know, we're just going to go like this. It's fine. It's fine, it doesn't matter. I could have just summoned 4 copies of it. But yeah, the thing that's really weird about streaming is that once you sort of like hit your audience groove number, I mean, there's a very small number of people that are like having the meteoric numbers, but pretty much anyone who's been stable for a long period of time is in the 4 to 5 digit concurrence, and that's kind of where it's at. And I can do hosting and other things, and that's sort of that. That's sort of that, right? Like it is an income source. And so for me, I'm really interested in doing little projects outside of that. Like you guys hear me talk about doing game stuff and working in Unity. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing little fun projects in Unity. I'm not trying to apply too much pressure to myself. Like, we're gonna start a huge thing and it's gonna be a 4-year project and we're gonna secure funding and all this stuff. I'm not doing that. I'm just making fun little ideas. One of the things that I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to learn shader programming. Because I just want to learn how shaders work. And you know what? Here's my project that I want to do over the next few weeks. I want to make a tree that looks like it's made out of stained glass. It's just my goal. I think it'd be really cool. And, as I'm working on these various little projects, my sort of plan as a person, my plan as a human, is I'm pretty much going to be streaming.
For Doomhammer.
I really enjoy streaming, so I don't see any reason not to keep doing that. One of the things that's nice about coding and streaming is my 2 main activities. They sort of give each one gives the other energy. So it's just I can work for a much larger number of hours a week doing these 2 different things and switching between them. That's one of the big reasons I'll certainly be doing the streaming. But if at any point one of these little game projects really starts to turn into something really legit and good and real and big and stuff, I have a very nice, clear advertising methodology. I just go live and I'm like, oh my god, buy my game! Please!
No more.
You guys! Alright, what sort of deck is he? I'm gonna do one of these.
Job's done.
That's gonna be pretty dirty. Yeah. Jeebus8401, I've had this question asked a lot, and I think I have a definitive answer. Jeebus8401 says, have you ever considered streaming game development at some point in time? I think almost certainly not forward facing, or like forward problem solving game development, as in like I wouldn't want to stream myself trying to decide and plan out what I'm going to code for the day and then doing that and debugging and getting it to work. I actually think I really have an anti-interest in that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is what I'm thinking. I have no interest in that because the energy that I have as a streamer is one of talking and sharing what's in my head and expressing that sort of stuff. And when I'm coding, I'm very much so withdrawn into my brain, thinking and musing and shutting out all distractions. And I think that those two things would be at odds with each other. So I think that I wouldn't really be as interested in that, but let's say that I spent 10 hours on a given week whipping something up. I might be interested in spending 30 to 45 minutes saying, hey, here's what I did last week. Boy, I sound horrible.
Back to your homes.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
It's not exactly the nicest mana cost, but we can play both of these next turn, and that'll be very beneficial to us. This looks a little weird timing-wise, but I think this is good still. Well, now it's an amazing play. Yeah, so in case anyone ever asks about will Day9 stream himself coding, the answer's probably not. Probably not. EK Hawkman. Give him the weasel. You got it, man. This is the Hawkman weasel coming up right here. The incidence of these paladins is why I got 2 lightning storms and 2 maelstrom portals in there. That's not the greatest. I'm actually... Oh man, I was... I should have had my head more in this game. Like, my health is so low. I had no idea it was this low, man. I gotta actually watch this stuff more. Shadow Monarch 57 says, how do you keep energy up while coding? I always seem to get burned out rather quickly. I find that the thing that requires the most amount of effort by far is figuring out what to do. Like, for instance, if I... Let me do the comparison to Hearthstone, since we have some Hearthstone viewers. If I'm sitting down to make a Hearthstone deck, there will almost always be a core genesis to it, right? Like, I'm really interested in building a deck around Lesser Sapphire Spellstone and Snow Fury Giant, right? That's the basic. So, that's the first question. And now, how do I decide what the next 26 cards are? That actually takes a lot of effort if I don't have a structural approach for figuring out how I want to do that. Probably dead unless I draw a sweeper. Probably dead unless I draw a sweeper.
I hope you like my invention.
Nope, that kills us.
You win this one.
We could have been in much better shape. I should need to be paying more attention. But, you know, imagine for a moment that I'm in that spot where I have 26 cards selected. Or 4 cards selected, and need to figure out the 26. If I don't have some structure to be able to evaluate how I'm going to throw in the remaining 26 cards, I can get real overwhelmed real fast. But if I start to really break things down, like, okay, I'll definitely want to be more of a control deck, so let me put in some clear. Let me put in some card draw. All of a sudden, I start to ask some clear questions, and I can fill those in. So in terms of the question, like, how do you not get burnt out while coding? I'll think of the problem, and if I'm ever feeling tired, I'll stop working and I'll try to really meticulously plan stuff out into smaller and smaller and smaller concrete chunks until I feel like I have a lot of small chunks. And then it's easy for me to be very low energy, just trying to do one small thing at a time. Because if I'm sitting down thinking that I need to make a block of 15 lines of code, super straightforward. Super, tractable, processable, straightforward. It's nice. Whereas if I said something like, you know, oh gosh, I have to figure out how to make the entire controller for my character. Huh? Hey, Marine. And I find this is true with any time I'm ever feeling demotivated about anything. If I'm demotivated, it means that I have not broken it down into small enough chunks. Alright, it's time to do one of my current Favo Cardos. Ooh. I would estimate our rogue friend doesn't have a vanish given the incidents of the death rattle cards we've been seeing. Do I want to hang on to this? I mean, I can just chuck it down right now. See, now we have some significant and scary combos that we can do at some point here. I'm gonna do this. Aha, there's my books. Bring it on, my friend. This guy's coming down next turn. And I am back. It's good to be back. Let's focus on the game a little bit more right now. I just kind of want to get to rank 5 or so today. I'm not doing any StarCraft this week. I'm just feeling sick. And I'd rather not make a shitty show. Highly doubt it's going to ruin anyone's improvement in learning as a player. So that's the little lie I tell myself to make myself feel comfortable chilling for a week. Yes. Very yes. Okay. Okay. Do you guys see it? Do you guys see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? Did you figure it out? Did you see it? Because I see it. I don't know if you see it. I see it. Do you see it? Because I see it. Alright, this is why I like this deck. See? Watch this. Boom. And then... Nope. Boom. Alright. If he vanishes, it's amazing, because all those are 0 mana. I really think that this Onyx Spellstone is highly underrated. What do you guys think about the nerfs so far? Because I haven't gotten the chance really to do much. Well, I mean, hell, I said it minutes ago. That is the first time I really got to play Hearthstone in some time. Alright, cool. Jaden says, I feel like I'm actually having fun in Hearthstone again, and that's amazing.
For Doomhammer.
Warlock. What do I want to do against a Warlock? Do I keep the Devolve? Just seems so high value. Shadow Monarch says this deck reminds me of Echo Major. Is that just me? No, it ain't just you, my friend. This is... It's very, very Echo Magi.
Side effects? No.
Jeebus84 says my entire card game, though, right now is filled with the ability to play Jace the Mind Sculptor in Modern. Well, come on. I thought they got rid of that guy. I thought they managed to cut that nerd. I love the way that Magic the Gathering has to do their, their bans. Or their patches. They're just like, well, it's banned. It's just... that Jace, he's out. That one's out. Get him out. Jace the Mind Sculptor was unbanned like 2 weeks ago. God, so much happened while I was on vacation. The Charizard says, how are you enjoying VS Code? I quite like VS Code. I quite like it. I think Farsight is good here. Oh! Flame Weaved Faithwith. I've been using the Dracula color theme. I like that Dracula color theme quite a bit. I quite like it. I'm trying to get used to it. I pretty much used Monokai for a while. I wanted to try out different ones, and I just really like it. It's just pretty. It's just really lovely. So far, so good. Now, there's a number of choices that we have here. We can... I actually think Ancestraling this is good. It depends on what sort of deck he is. I'll probably want to save one Ancestral due to the fact that... maybe I should have saved the other one. I don't know what he is yet. If he's like a Q block that's running the Doom Guards, and as well as the Void Nerds, probably going to want to hang... or probably going to want to toss these out rather judiciously. However, if it is the Control Warlock that runs the 2 Twisting Nethers that isn't a Q block, then I really need to hold on to this, because the way that I win is by going Snow Fury, Ancestral, and then summoning a bunch of copies of those so I'm immune to some sort of Twisting Nether play.
Yes. Oh, yes. They'll serve me now.
Beautiful. It's going to be a Void Lord. Oh, no, it isn't. Okay, so now this tells me that it's okay for me to use this. Capability. So this reeks of desperation. Nice. So I did this so he can't cube his way out of a pickle. And the shows we playing carry tomorrow or playing support. I might play Bristleback. Right now, I have won my last 16 Bristleback games in a row. Welcome back. Alright. I really like the addition of the 2 Flame Wreath Facelesses in this deck. I think it's really great. Liquid Day Night? No, actually I think that what happened is that I didn't play solo queue for about 6 months. I went from basically 2K to 3K from January to July. And then I didn't play solo queue, not for any reason, really. It was incidental more than anything else. I'd be playing games with Purge, because we started to play games a lot more together after TI. I was playing games with my friends. You know, pretty... I think I chucked back Crushing Hand. I've not had success with it. So I just didn't play it, and then I've only recently started to play again. So I think I've won a lot of my last solo queue games. I think I've maybe, of my last like 15 solo queue games, I think I've won like 14 or 13 or something. I think that my rating stayed the same, but my skill level improved a lot. So I'm being paired with people that I am better than. And what I like about Bristleback is that he's very self-sustaining. He's very self-sustaining, and I think, like, after what Purge has been telling me about how the hero works, and, you know, he's sort of encouraged the doing of the math, there's things like Hood and Pipe of Insight are so insanely good on Bristleback. Like, I think Pipe of Insight's almost fucking broken on him. It's so good. So if you get a little bit of momentum, and you can get
I wonder.
a Hood, and then a Pipe of Insight,
Always little time.
and then after that it's relatively easy to get a Solar Crest. And you know, you're now in this kind of position where, like,
You like my invention?
you have 10 armor, you have over 50% magic resistance, you have about 26 HP regen. I mean, it's just pretty straightforward. Okay, so this is a Prince Malchezaar deck, so he's gonna have some awkwardness executing combos. So as long as we're just playing relatively straightforward, I'm gonna probably bang this down on that turn. Like, okay, so Crimson Guard, I actually never get Crimson Guard. I don't know if this is a mistake, but I just really don't like nor get that item.
If you're sure.
Really don't get it. So you know, what I'll do is I'll go Boots, Vanguard, Hood, and then sometimes just go Radiance. Or get Pipe of Insight and then go Radiance. I get Radiance in a lot of my Bristleback games. And then all of a sudden, I'm farming super fast. I can just casually buy a plate mail
I hope you
and get a Shiva's, get Octarine Core, and then once you get to level 25, you have Octarine and the 15% spell lifesteal, and the Quill Stack damage. It's hard to lose, man. I think I want to do this first.
If you're sure.
I think this is fine. And I mean, frankly, I think that this is not a. This is maybe not the most intellectually useful comment, but I think Bristleback is very good against weaker players because it's very difficult to judge when you need to pull back. So I get a ton of people that just run at me and keep hitting me in my back, and I just get triple kills. It's great. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. As desired. That was a very desirable outcome, because I want him to use hexes early and often. So then I just have this, like, defensive spell damage mixture, right? So I have the Octarine that's giving me spell lifesteal from the Radiance in my Quills.
For the king!
Then you have Shiva's, which is spell damage and armor. Pipe of Insight, which is resistance. You just wind up being ridiculously durable. I kind of want to be a little careful because I want to get a lesser Sapphire Spellstone in my hand.
Out of my jungle!
I guess he's going to evolve now, yeah? No. Okay. So, let's see here. Really good news. Really, really good news. So I can do this one. If I did this... No, I think this is better. We crush this, right? Boom. Instantly upgrading that. I'm gonna pop like this. It's gonna put us in range of dying. It's alright. And then next turn we play this, or this. Either way, this will get upgraded. And then we'll be able to have a triple Spellstone.
All realities, all dimensions are open to me.
All realities, all dimensions are open to me. Oh, okay, he didn't make a big mistakey, but that's okay because his heart we're still going to takey. I think we're winning. I think that was a good play right there. Freudian said just download a Dracula theme and I'm immediately loving the color of the comments. Oh yeah. Oh dude, you know, I'm trying to learn shader programming. I thought shader programming was going to be wildly complicated. I thought that shader programming was going to be the most like insane, ridiculous, and it's so much more straightforward than I would have ever thought, which is really, really cool. Do you think I want a 7-6 or an 8-6? I think I want an 8-6. Yeah, Unity makes programming shaders just really nice. It's just a little wrapper. You just write the code. Here, listen. I can actually explain shaders very quickly. All right. Do we have any graphics programmers in the chat? Do we have any people who could double check me on being incorrect on this stuff? Because I believe that my understanding is a correct understanding. So we're going to play this one first. Okay, so here's what a shader is qualitatively. Okay, here's what a shader is qualitatively. And again, if any of you are experts in this shit, feel free to step in and inform me a little bit more. Inform chat a little more what the nuances are. So basically, shaders, some of what shaders do is related to shading. And shadows and light and stuff like that. But in a more literal sense, here's what shaders do, okay? So, all these objects on the screen that look 3D, such as, you know, this little charcoal thing I'm clicking here, or this mountain, you use an editor to place the objects in 3D, so they have a whole bunch of data that you know, postures them as a 3D object. You know, like this little my collection. See how it's wiggling? How is it wiggling? Because it is stored as a 3D object, and it's just receiving a little bit of rotation on there, right? But when it comes to actually drawing this image on the screen, there's some steps that happen. The first step is it takes all that 3D information and it converts it into 2D, you know, basically flattening it. And that's called rasterization, right? So it rasterizes this image. So what you have now is you have a whole bunch of flattened things on the screen. Everything that was in 3D has been converted to sort of 2D flat space so that can actually be drawn. And so, for instance, if I hit the back button, if we click on play, see how it opens up? Technically, these three-dimensional objects are behind this closing and opening window thing, but they're just not being rendered because as part of the rasterization step, it didn't even need to get that data. Okay, cool, right? Nice. So we have that data. There's things in that 2D data. There's vertices, which is like the point. Like if you have a triangle, right? You draw the triangle, the points, those are the vertices. And then there's what's called fragments, but really it's the triangle. We're gonna talk about it in terms of the triangle, right? So you have the vertices, which are the points of the triangles, and then you actually have the information of the triangle itself. So let's just assume that we had an American flag image slapped on an object. So we'd have a triangle, and then we'd have like a little American flag in there. So the vertices would be the location of the corners of the triangles, and then that little image of the flag would be on that triangle itself. Okay? So again, we start with the 3D world space objects. We then convert it into 2D, just rasterization. And in that step, we have a whole bunch of vertices and fragments. So what does a shader do? What does the shader do? Well, the shader allows you to manipulate those vertices or then manipulate the color that's on the triangle. That's basically it. So suppose I wanted to create the feeling of being really dizzy, you know, and I wanted everything on the screen to wiggle back and forth like this. We can do this with a shader, where we just say with the vertices, we're not going to change the color on anything, but we're going to make the vertices move left and move right. and move left and move right. That's just the only thing the shader does is do that. So you can imagine all the vertices moving left and right creates the sensation of a wiggly screen. And so there's all these things that you can do with shaders that are really fascinating and really interesting. For instance, have any of you ever... Okay, if you played Soma, if you look at Soma, there were sometimes things where you'd have like a big tentacly, gross, bio-organic goo on the wall that would be like breathing and pulsating. That makes it look all sickening and living and real. How do they create that effect of the bubbling, breathing stuff? Well, it's just with a shader. They make a simple, like, tentacle goo object with some polygons. They then put a image texture on it to give it that look of being just looking organic. But then how do they get that motion? Oh, it's just a shader that's causing little shifts in the vertices, creating the illusion of little veiny movements and breathing and stuff.
I hope you like my invention.
Mind if I roll need?
So, I mean, that's what's, frankly, I think just like so interesting, is that you can just create these extraordinarily rich-looking effects just by doing simple manipulation of the vertexes or simple manipulation of the fragments, aka the shit on the triangle.
The end is coming!
Okay, so this appears to be a control paladin. I'm going to do this. This could just be a little overkill, but I think this is a control paladin. I think I want to do this. Looks control-y so far. I don't think I want to devolve this.
Mind if I roll need?
What is his play? The runic egg weirds me out a little bit. Free Kill 101 says, Yo, Day 9, are you interested in the new Magic the Gathering Online platform arena? Yeah, I am. He has two things in his hand. I'm really baffled as to what we're dealing with right now. So, the big thing is we need to save one of our ancestral spirits for a big equality consecrate answer. So we'll probably need to save up and do Snow Fury Ancestral or Greater Sapphire Spellstone while we have a devolve in hand. But yeah, no, I'm just interested in learning more about shader programming because of I'm talking about this with my best friend, business partner, excellent human, Eric. That like, oh my god, that jet lag's hitting me hard. We're just gonna drink a little bit of our coffee. Oh yeah, Eric's the best, man. He's such a fucking legend. Yeah, I've been talking about doing like nugget-based design work. And what I mean by a nugget is in a game there's three pillars, right? There's engineering, art, and gameplay. And you could, and wouldn't it be great if you could just make a really nice little high quality, there's one equality on there. I'm gonna do this one first. And what I mean by nugget is in one of those categories doing something that is hard to figure out. It's hard to come up with, but once you do have that, you can do amazing, huge stuff with that. For example, what's a design example? Oh, wouldn't it be cool if you could figure out a mechanic like the portal guns? The portal guns are such an amazingly good mechanic that it can support an entire... Yes, thank you. Okay, so we want to Crushing Hand. Yes. I protect, but I also attack. This is going to be sick. We can throw both these down. Like, so if you go with Design Nugget, like the amazingness of the portal gun that can generate a whole game. What's something engineering-wise? Oh, if you were working... There's a second equality. If you were working on, like, an MMO, a la EVE Online, and you figured out the technology to actually have hundreds of thousands of people in one persistent universe. Wow, that seems hard to come up with, but if you could pull that off, wow, that's kind of amazing. You could do a lot of stuff with that. Or I was reading about the developers behind... this is a mistake. I should have done this, and then I could have done these two. The developers behind City Skylines that talked about how they had all these tricks of running simulations to be able to effectively... Very well.
Well played.
Yeah, well played indeed, my friend. Do I want to do one more? 1, 4, 8, 10, 12. That is an ideal outcome. Or artistically, art is super expensive in a game because you have to have someone just sitting there making all this shit all the time. I think I just literally do these two and just shrug my shoulders and bang those down next turn. If I did this...
Well played.
This is summon a 2/2 ghoul. That's a pretty good one. Yeah, art's really expensive in a game, so if you could come up with some way to just make really beautiful art programmatically, such as by having some really sweet shaders, cut down on a ton of time. So in other words, if you have like a really great little design nugget, or really great technological nugget, or really great artistic nugget, sort of frame your game around that. It would be cool if I could draw one of these guys. Well, I guess, yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Well played.
Velrun, do you think we'll ever... Oops. Velrun's asking about more, we might die. Yeah, we died. No big deal. I could have done this other one, but perhaps a little greedy. Maybe Talos Principle. I really like Talos Principle. I really liked Talos Principle. Freakill 101 asks an excellent question. That's quite an innovative, centric view of game design. Do you think that's necessary to design something good, or just one way to start? Well, I think it depends on the size of your team. Suppose, for instance, that you are Ubisoft and you just had, what, 1,000, 1,500 people finish an Assassin's Creed game. You have 1,500 people who have a super efficient pipeline to create open worlds. So it's kind of hard to say, all right, we're just going to try to fiddle until we figure out something new. You know, you're going to go, well, fuck, no, what? We need to do something. We need to take this huge, assembled, giant Voltron of human talent and pour it into a new task. What's the most reasonable thing to do? Another similar type of open world game. And what have we had? A shitload of Assassin's Creed that, as far as I can tell, are continuing to be excellent. Priest. Well, I know you guys are here for greed. We're gonna keep the greediest possible thing. Priest nowadays, as far as I can tell, from my 4 hours or so of playing this morning, are just very creature-centric. Cherry says you may want to update your website, tell people know you're live. That's alright, we'll just sneak it in together. So if you are a huge company and you have 1,500 people who are established to do a task, right, it's very hard to pivot too hard, to come up with something that's too new, because, you know, I'm just going to completely make up numbers because I have, and not only do I know no information about how Ubisoft's internal structure works, but I have spent no time thinking about it. So this is as conjecture as conjecture can get. But let's just make up some bullshit for a moment. Let's say that you need 500 people to make all the locations and their buildings, and 500 people to make all the characters and NPCs and their animations, right? You have 500 world people and 500 animation NPC type person people. Let's say that you went, hey, I have a great idea. Let's make a game that's really similar to God of War. Won't that be tight, man? Ooh. These are gonna happen at the same time. Let's do that. Let's make something that's kind of like God of War. Well, you might still need 500 artists to do the environment, but you only need 250 artists for the character animation because there's just literally fewer characters. What then? What do ye do then? Well, you have to figure out something for those 250 people to do. Ooh, shit, right? I mean, like, this is a huge issue that game companies deal with.
Once upon a time.
And so I don't think that, you know, trying to sit down and, like, try to come up with it, oh, some nugget-based game design, blah, like, I don't think that any of that is... I'll just draw one. I think it's fine. Nice. I'd like one different overload so that way I can pop the crushing hand to hit it to level 3. But I think that if, for instance, I am... Let's just pick a profession at random here. Let's suppose that, I don't know, I am a streamer who is not on a timeline. Very well. Give him cake. If I'm like someone who's not on a timeline, but I also don't have 500 artists, maybe it's a pretty good idea to like kind of explore something like that. So basically that is my explanation for, oh, sure, yeah, so if I do this, that goes down. It's not quite what I wish to do with my life, but you know, life. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm trying to figure out some nuggets. I want to just I just think the shaders are really cool, and my big push this year is to participate in fun projects. Also, big push this year is to smash faces using crushing hand.
The elements combine.
Ain't no lie, baby, bye, 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 bye. I think actually I'm gonna save these guys because you know I'm just fighting. Next turn's gonna be a good one.
Oh, what's this one do? I try this.
One for all and all for me.
What does this guy do? It's the Grand Fartkavist. Okay, so we're gonna. This is a good turn. Now, if he Anduins me, that's not good. It's also not the end of the world. I think my ideal would be like to have a company where we have a really cool game. And we have a sort of very modular team structure where we can unplug people from one project and plug them into the next. So we could conceivably do something like, you know, finish a game that requires 20 people, and then these 10 people immediately start working on the next game that they all agreed was what they wanted to work on. Oops. Yeah. What am I talking about? False Light is the antithesis on Valve? What do you mean the antithesis? Isn't that... Sounds very similar to what Valve does. I mean the thesis of what Valve does. You think we'll ever find an opponent? Hatcher says, Sean, great people and okay job, or great job and professional but little stiff colleagues. Your advice coming to the interview, and I'm worried I have to make a choice. Yeah. Listen, Hat Cherry, it's important that you look within. Okay, let's get this thing fixed, okay? Might take a little break in a moment to get some Mucinex. Mucinex!
What an adventure you're having.
Hi, Sheriff. Hi. It's good to see you, Sheriff. No, here, look. Come into camera range. Come in. Yeah, is it that time of day? Is it that time of day? Okay, yep. Here, let me lean back so you can get into position. There you go. Wallpaper showing in top left.
Versus Rexa!
Let the hunt begin for Doomhammer.
Is the wallpaper showing on the Sheriff head side or on the Sheriff butt side? Alright, we don't want any of these with Hunter. That's such a good cat. That's such a good cat. Yeah, I think that it all depends on what you really want. Like, and you have to be very realistic about this with yourself. So for instance, if I were in the situation where I said, okay, do I want a job with amazing people that's only okay, or do I want a job that's really amazing with stiff people? What I might do is I might ask myself what my needs are. I literally know wait, free kill, I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't understand what you're talking about.
Side effects? No. Trust me.
Wait, is my... Oh, I see. There we go. He's such a good cat. Hi, sweetheart. Yeah, you're such a good cat, huh?
This
Very
might
nice cat. I know someone who literally is totally content to work a 9-to-5 for the rest of her entire life. That's all she wants to do. She just wants to work a 9-to-5. She is not interested in being super ambitious and managing a team. She doesn't want to start a business. She likes showing up and having someone say, I need you to do this. And her going, okay. And then she tries to do a really good job on it. And she turns it in and she moves on. That's it. That is her entire day. And, you know, if that's you, then you could just say, yeah, no, I'm just going to.
This might stay.
Nice. And if that's what you want to do, that's totally okay. I am someone who's much more interested in career-focused stuff. Loves being, honestly, completely professional and stiff and whatever language you want to use. I'm completely content doing stuff like that. I would just be like, alright, well. But I would consider the flip side, which is, how much do I not like working with other people? Well, another way, or how much do I dislike stiff people to work with? Well, I mean, honestly, I would reframe it as, can I get the type of socialization that I crave outside of work? And I think you'll find the answer is most often yes. Yes, I can. Oh, you sneezy? You okay? Did you just sneeze onto my face? That is disgusting. Now you're gonna lick. Stop it. Stop tickles. What are you? Don't. What are you doing? Look how lazy this cat is at playing. Yeah, good cat. It's a very good cat. Did you get it? Good job. Ow. Yeah, good job. You're very scary, yeah. Little terrifying cat, huh? And she's done.
I hope you like my invention.
This deck is great. So I mean, like personally, just for me, just based on the fact that I like to do work, I would do the better work thing. But I would make sure to create time to socialize and meet friends.
Thrall versus Anduin.
The light shall bring victory.
For Doomhammer. For Doomhammer. Okay, so I expect that priests are mostly creature-based from what I've seen, so I guess I want to get card draw and clear. Ugh. And honestly, even if you make the choice and later on you're like, I think this was the wrong choice, that's totally fine. It doesn't fucking matter, man. All paths to success, in retrospect, are completely messy and look very stupid. Vertisource, have you ever thought about starting your own broadcasting studio? In what regard? Am I not broadcasting? Do I not run a broadcasting company? Do I think I'll play Subnautica in the future? I don't really know anything about it. I have heard its murmurings for about 2 years, and it has exploded recently, and I get asked about it like every 20 seconds. Every 20 seconds. Here it comes. There it was. Okay, 15 more seconds. 10.
Quickly.
Nary says, do you still play Carax and co-op SC2? Tried and struggled with its lack of anti-air units. Yeah, dude. I'm like all in. All in on Carax. Are you kidding me? You don't need anti-air. You can just blow things up from the sky. Almost like a TV channel similar to Geek and Sundry. I've only briefly thought about it. It just doesn't interest me that much. The thing that interests me about what I do streaming primarily is the performative aspect. Were I to shift more in the production studio direction, that would involve me either stepping more to a directorial role, which is fine, but I don't have much interest in that in terms of just broadcast stuff.
Quickly.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like what I do with this. When I think about my free time, what do I want to do with my free time? I really am interested in, well, learning to do shader programming. That's really what I'm doing. Only this, I don't really know what he is at this point. Probably into White Eyes right now, honestly. Alright, so let's try to use the Sky Lasers more often on air units. Yeah, when I play Carax, honestly, I go way, way hard on upgrading the energy generation. And then I just blow things up.
You are the Shadow's puppet. You are the Shadow's
Hey, Jonas says, I've got a cool shader resource or two. What's the best way to hook you up with that? Probably Discord. I feel like the world is trying to tell me to devolve him. I think I will wait a turn. I want to be able to trigger that. What about Slay the Spire? Yeah, that's another game that sort of just popped up while I was away on break.
I must consider.
Maybe I should hop on the Slay the Spire train. I'm just going to be doing a lot more binging, a lot more shifting up of my show schedules this year. Just doing generally more streaming. False Fly, if you want to see some crazy shit you can do with shaders, you can check out shadertoy.com. Yeah, dude, I love shadertoy.com. Shadertoy.com is fucking sick. I think now's a good time to devolve. Oh, I would have loved to have that last turn. I feel icky. Maybe we could churn out like a simple 6-month mobile game this year. 3-month mobile game, something like that. Three Justices would love to see Ko's recommendation in action. Week of Dark Souls? Yes, please. Hey, we're already doing it this week. We're already doing it this week. On Thursday, we're doing Shadow of the Colossus, and then on Friday, we're doing Shadow of the Colossus!
Once upon a time.
Is someone injured?
Reporting for duty.
Hey, is someone
Reporting
injured?
for duty. Reporting for duty.
And what do we do here?
I wonder.
Kinda actually have to summon guys. I think this is just the play I'm doing. It's a very boring play. I'm gonna do a very boring play. I keep kicking my stupid cord. Oh, I'm just gonna move my shoes. I have my shoes on. Shadow of the Colostopus.
You are not welcome here.
Slate says, hey, Dane, I'm about to drop a part-time position from full-time. Or drop 2 part-time positions from full-time, or to pursue creative stuff during the other 4 days. Also know I'm a bit prone to procrastinating. I know I'm going to love it. But do you have any tips to ensure productivity? Yeah, dude, when you... Oh, fuck. My entire green screen just fell over. But you can't even tell because this is so unbelievably smooth. Well, it appears that I have screwed up. Well, where there's a mill, there's a way. As long as we don't mill one of the... Oh. Hallelujah. Oh, shit. I double fold the green screen, and one of the folds fell down. Oh, it's fine. I'll just take a break after this and fix it. Yeah, so, listen. Do all your creative stuff first thing in the morning, completely as far away as humanly possible from any distraction. So, for instance, wake up and take a laptop that does not have anything installed on it except for your productivity stuff. Go somewhere else and start working. Just do it at the start of the day. Oh, that's such a good one to have lost. Oh, good. 3, 6, 9. Damn near fine. See, like when I'm healthy, man, as in when I'm not ill, I've been like,
Oh, a shadow.
what?
You wish to live forever.
It's fine. I think I just absolutely devolved this quickly here, yeah. Alright. A little annoyed that I'm not getting those lesser sapphire spellstones, but this is part of the reason why I'm running 2 of these flame-wreathed facelesses. Yeah, I'll go get up, exercise, come back, and program for 4 or 5 hours. And then do the show. Shinkari says, have you tested cards to remove your overloaded crystals in this deck? You know, I really have not. I just don't even see a need or reason to. So he has another one in there. I actually have to be really, really careful about this. I mean, like, if I play this... Gosh, where are these things, man? Another crushing hand.
Secret agent coming! You are not welcome here.
Yeah, maybe that was an overly bold thing to have done. I don't know. Mulligan. Well, that's going to be really dirty.
is your
Sure.
These lesser sapphire spellstones are way on the bottom there. Yes! 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 Yeah! Alright! Yeah! Oh my god, yeah. Alright, excellent. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Oh, dirty.
If you're sure.
Pretty much all the draws are good except Lightning Storm. I can always kill this guy. He used both of his
Once upon a time.
mind controls. We are so happy about this. No problem. No problem at all. Can I get a spellstone? Honestly, I'd like a spellstone. Ask and ye shall receive. It's gonna give up next turn. You'll notice that this will summon several 4-mana 7/7s. This is not a problem at all. I don't think he can burst me down from 14. Anira says, have you played enough Hearthstone to form an opinion of the nerfs? Well, basically, there's no OTK Anduin nonsense, so I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, does he just have Anduin now? Great. And he plays Deathwing again! Ah!
Wow.
Ah! Alright. Alright, I'll play. I'll play another one.
Throw versus Maiev.
None can escape my fury.
For Doomhammer.
I really don't have a problem with the Spiteful Priest. Against a Robu. I think I keep anything that draws me a card, I think. Crushing Hand is really nice for those people that go all in on +2/+2 man. Edwin Van Cleef. Le Chaman Énorme. The name of this deck, by the way, is Snow Clones. Because we clone things. And we have Snow Fury Giants. Oh my gosh, we have I'm Sorry, Miss Jackson in the chat. That's amazing. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize a trillion times. Kill him, I don't give a damn. Yeah, purpose is served. Alright, snoozing fox. Alright, hey, what's our record so far today? My stats of this thing are all screwed up. Never meant to make a daughter cry. I apologize a trillion times. We lost 3? 2? 3? Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 and 2. 8 and 2 so far. 8 and 2. 8 and 2. Very well. I am for real. Dude, he chucked off a Vanish. That's primo fantastissimo. Debonair Bear says, how well does Feral Spirits go into this deck compared to the Drakari Defender? I have liked the Feral Spirits quite a bit. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I am day 9 a trillion times. Hatchery says, in regarding the creativity stuff, how would you advise to find time besides 8-hour job to learn new stuff besides weekends? I already moved gym to 6 a.m. so I can have more of the afternoon, but cooking wastes most of my time and I'm so tired of the day. Any ideas, plan, or maybe some goals for the day to motivate me? I think a big thing is to, well, at least for me personally, the biggest thing is the carving out of time. It's just an hours thing. It's like, how do you construct the hours? Alright, so he's King's Butt. He's a King's Butt rogue. So I think, therefore, if I actually go poppity, boppity, boo. And I mean, be realistic with yourself. If you're going to do creative stuff and you're tired, do not do anything that is a 3-month creative project. Do like a 2-week creative project or a 1-month creative project so you get joyful completion satisfaction. If you carve out time, if you're getting up at 6 a.m. and you're getting to work by 8 and you're working from, let's just say, 8 to 5, coming home, you're probably going to have to go to bed by 10. Maybe twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you spend the evenings on your creative project. Man, I got the soul read on this, man. He keeps sapping, vanishing. It's great. I mean, that's what I would do. I would do like 4 hours on Tuesday, 4 hours on Thursday, and then 4 hours on Saturday morning. And then I think you'd be in pretty good shape. Let us divine. Let us dive on. I don't want to save these crushing hands in order to trigger the Lesser Sapphire Spellstone. Because, I mean, if you're doing just Tuesday nights and just Thursday nights and just Saturday mornings, you're already doing like 12 hours a week. And if you're feeling super enthusiastic, do a little more on Saturday. Get to 15 hours a week. That's a remarkable amount of time. You still have Monday, Wednesday, Friday free in the evenings to do whatever you want and chill. Just be reasonable with yourself. And if you're tired, just do 2 hours on Tuesday, 2 hours on Thursday, and 2 hours on Saturday morning. Plan it in advance. I think, again, one of the most draining, difficult thing is figuring out what to do. So if you just deliberately carve out a schedule that really pleases you, really gets your blood pumping, Could vanish here. He could. Shinkar says, I just started streaming and I've been worried that maybe I burn out. How do you deal with burnout from streaming every day, or if you feel burnout from time to time? I mean, the older I get, the more I am more thoughtful about planning ahead. If I'm feeling very rested, like, I'm feeling very rested. I mean, I know I'm sick right now, I'm a little jet lagged, but I'm feeling very rested. So, young Sean would be like, let's stream 60 hours this week. That's a dumb thing to do. I am doing one additional day of streaming this week. I'm doing Thursday. And I'm only promising to do this Thursday. I'm not saying I'm going to stream every following Thursday. I'm just doing just the one fucking Thursday. And you know what happens? Liberates me. Lets me use that fun energy I have, feel like I did something without the pressure of, oh my god, we are killing it today. Yeah. So he only has one more bounce effect left. Poop, poop. And if I'm feeling really exhausted, same thing. I don't quit streaming completely. I try to pop one thing off. So, for instance, this week, I'm feeling a little sick, a little jet lagged when I land, and normally in the weekend and on Mondays when I would prepare the Let's Learn StarCraft. So I said, you know what? I bet you by the end of the week I'll have energy, but right now I don't, so I'm not going to do the Let's Learn StarCraft this week. Right? I just did one small change there. So that's a lot of the way that I deal with burnout, is just by being a little more thoughtful and forward-looking. So I think he's going to create a very complex way of maybe, yeah, okay. Let's see, how do I? That leeching poisson is going to be quite annoying. Shinkari says, but don't you ever feel bad that you're not streaming? Like last week I was tired and slept through my start time, decided not to stream because it was real late, but I still felt bad and stuck to my schedule. I'm really good about sticking to my schedule, but if I can't stream, I just can't stream. Yeah. It's a really important skill to just be able to say no. Just go, yeah, no, you know what? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You know what? That's okay. It's okay for me not to do that. And hell, man. Last year, at the end of last year, I just had so many events I was hosting and stuff that I was doing. That... Ooh, that's not good. Ooh, that's actually good news for us. Yeah, it's so many things that I was doing. That there were times when I was just like, guys, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna. Yep. Immune this turn, so we'll go down to 6, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I think this is good. Probably drawn a little too much. Maybe I shouldn't have played that second. Totemo. Yotengo Totemo.
Look! You shiny.
Oh my god, right off the top. Shit. That is not good. So basically, we are all in on Snow Furies. So I have to be very, very careful as to not draw that. So I'm going to do this.
Hope you like my invention.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. One, two. Okay, cool. Let's get that one in there. Have a weasel. Oh, okay. Now, as long that like in a way that's actually quite helpful for us. As long as that doesn't. Oh shit. Wait, we are real close to dying. I didn't realize that we were. Let's see if we can get wide eyes. I think we actually just die. Oh my, we died. Yeah, that's it. Damn. Damnity, damnity, damnity. That's alright, no big deal. He had a few nice top decks. We've had a few nice top decks, so, you know. Seemed like just a close match. Didn't go our way that time. We're going to take a, I'm actually going to call it like a 4-minute break, because what I need to do is I need to get this green screen set back up. Probably looks fine on camera, but it's spilling all over the chair right now. But we'll be right back. We'll be right back. We're just on a break. We'll see you in a sec.